You feel stressed, maybe from work, deadlines, traffic, or just trying to keep up with life. But what if I told you that every moment of stress is quietly speeding up your biological clock, making your body age faster than it should? Not metaphorically. Literally. Scientists can now measure the biological damage that stress leaves behind, deep inside your cells, in the very strands of your DNA. And the shocking part? It's not the big, traumatic moments doing most of the harm. It's the small, constant ones, the ones you barely notice. Think about it: your phone pings, your boss emails, traffic stalls, you miss lunch, all these micro-stressors that seem harmless. But your body doesn't see them that way. Every time you feel that spike of tension, your brain tells your adrenal glands to release a hormone called cortisol, the so-called stress hormone. In short bursts, cortisol is useful. It gives you energy, focus, and helps you react in emergencies. But when it's always there, hovering in your bloodstream day after day, it becomes toxic. Researchers have found that people under chronic stress often have shorter telomeres, those tiny protective caps at the ends of your DNA strands that act like the plastic tips on shoelaces. When telomeres were down, your cells stop dividing properly. They age. And when your cells age, you age. So today, let's look inside your body to uncover what stress is really doing, not just to your mind, but to your heart, your brain, even your DNA, and, more importantly, what you can do to slow it down. Let's start with cortisol, your body's built-in alarm system. When you feel threatened, the hypothalamus in your brain sends a signal down to your adrenal glands. They respond by flooding your blood with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate rises, your breathing quickens, and your muscles get ready to fight or flee. It's the same ancient system that helped early humans survive lions and danger. But here's the twist: your brain can tell the difference between a lion and an email from your boss. So even if the threat is just a message, your body still flips into survival mode. And when that happens over and over again, your cortisol levels stop returning to normal. They stay slightly elevated, constantly preparing for a threat that never really ends. That's when the damage starts to build. Chronic cortisol disrupts sleep, slows metabolism, increases blood sugar, and even suppresses your immune system. It's like keeping your car engine running at high RPM all day. It might still drive, but it's burning through the parts faster than it should. And at a cellular level, that stress response leaves a scar, one that scientists are only now learning to see under the microscope. Here's where things get unsettling. Every cell in your body has a kind of biological clock, and part of that clock is guarded by telomeres. Imagine your DNA is a long shoelace. The telomeres are the plastic caps at the ends that protect it from fraying. Each time your cells divide, those caps get a little shorter. And when they wear down too much, the CL can't divide anymore. It either dies or enters senescence, a sort of cellular retirement. That process is a normal part of aging. But chronic stress acts like sandpaper, wearing those caps down faster than they should. Studies from the University of California found that people who reported high levels of long-term stress, caregivers, trauma survivors, even people under constant work pressure, had significantly shorter telomeres than those living calmer lives. In some cases, their cells looked a decade older than their actual age. And remember, this isn't visible from the outside. You can't feel your telomeres shortening. You just notice subtle things: fatigue that lingers, slower recovery, maybe a new wrinkle, or memory lapses you didn't used to have. Cortisol also affects how your body repairs itself. It slows collagen production, meaning your skin loses elasticity faster. It weakens the hippocampus, the brain region responsible for memory. And it suppresses immune cells, making you more prone to inflammation and illness. Ironically, it's not the big stressors that do the most harm. Major life events, a breakup, a job loss, trigger intense but short-lived responses. Your body eventually recalibrates. But micro-stressors, being stuck in traffic, checking notifications, constant low-level worry, keep your cortisol trickling all day long. It's like water erosion on stone, barely noticeable day to day, but devastating over time. Scientists call this allostatic load, the cumulative wear and tear your body suffers while trying to maintain balance under chronic stress. And the scary part? That load doesn't just affect how you feel, it influences how your genes express themselves. In other words, prolonged stress can actually change which genes your body turns on or off, affecting inflammation, metabolism, even how your brain responds to future stress. So if you've ever wondered why some people seem to age faster, or look older despite being healthy, chronic stress might be the invisible reason. But the good news? Unlike your chronological age, your biological age can slow down, and even partially reverse, if you learn to master how your body handles stress. Let's imagine a typical day. You wake up late, already behind schedule. You skip breakfast, scroll through emails, rush out the door, fight through traffic, and maybe chug some coffee to stay sharp. Each one of these moments, your heart racing, your breath shallow, your mind juggling 10 things, triggers small bursts of cortisol. Now, none of those things feel like a crisis. But your body doesn't distinguish between late to work and running from danger. To your biology, both are threats. Over weeks, months, or even years, that constant trickle of cortisol quietly reshapes your body's chemistry. Your blood sugar stays elevated, making it harder to lose fat and easier to gain it, especially around your waist. Your blood pressure rises, straining arteries and heart tissue. Your immune system becomes sluggish, leaving you more vulnerable to infections, slower wound healing, and chronic inflammation. That inflammation is particularly insidious. It's now known as one of the key accelerators of biological aging. It damages cells, stiffens blood vessels, and interferes with your brain's ability to clear waste proteins, the same kind linked to Alzheimer's and other cognitive declines. And it doesn't stop there. Stress even changes how you breathe. Many of us unconsciously shift into shallow, chest-level breathing when we're anxious, drawing in less oxygen and holding tension in the diaphragm. Over time, this limited oxygen exchange keeps your nervous system stuck in a subtle fight-or-flight mode, never letting your body fully relax. It's a loop. Stress leads to cortisol, cortisol drives inflammation, inflammation amplifies stress. And that loop doesn't just age your body, it ages your mind. Chronic cortisol weakens connections in the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps you make rational decisions and manage emotions. That's why, when you're constantly stressed, small problems suddenly feel huge. Your patience shrinks, your focus fades, and even joy starts to feel like effort. In the long run, this cycle can shave years off your biological health span, not just how long you live, but how long you live well. It's a silent kind of aging. You don't see it happening, you just feel it in moments of exhaustion that coffee doesn't fix, in the fog that lingers after a long week, in the sense that your body doesn't bounce back like it used to. But here's the crucial thing, this story doesn't have to end there. Because the same biology that accelerates aging under stress can also heal when you know how to reset it. The first step to slowing stress-induced aging isn't about eliminating stress, because that's impossible. It's about changing how your body responds to it. You can't control every traffic jam, every bill, or every email, but you can teach your nervous system not to interpret them as life or death events. Let's start with the smallest reset button you have, your breath. When you breathe slowly and deeply, especially through your diaphragm, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's rest and repair mode. Try this: inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. Do it 5 times. You'll literally see your heart rate drop and feel your muscles unclench. That's your cortisol levels easing down, in real time. Scientists call this downregulation, and it's one of the simplest ways to reverse the physiological markers of stress. Over weeks of consistent breathing practice, it can even improve immune function and reduce blood pressure. Next, there's micro-breaks. Think of them as small pit stops for your body and brain. Every hour or so, take 60 seconds to stand, stretch, look away from screens, or step outside for a deep breath. Micro-breaks interrupt the constant drip of stress hormones and give your brain a chance to reset. Then there's mindset. This might sound abstract, but your perception of stress actually changes its impact. Research from Stanford University found that people who saw stress as a challenge rather than a threat had lower cortisol spikes and better cardiovascular recovery. In other words, how you frame your stress determines how your body experiences it. Finally, sleep and connection. When you sleep, your cortisol naturally falls, your telomeres repair, and your cells perform deep maintenance. Missing sleep doesn't just make you tired, it robs your body of its nightly anti-aging cycle. And human connection, laughter, hugs, conversation, triggers oxytocin, a hormone that directly counters cortisol's effects. It's one of the most natural anti-aging chemicals you can make. So no, you don't need to quit your job or move to a mountain. You just need to create small, recovery pockets throughout your day, breaths, breaks, perspective shifts, real conversations that tell your biology you're safe now. Because when your body stops living in emergency mode, it stops burning through its future health to survive the present moment. And that's where healing and slower aging begins.